Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. This is going to be a Garchomp game. Garchomp is my main this season in ranked just because it's been pretty consistent and I have a lot of fun with Garchomp. So the build today that I'm going to be running is Muscle Band, Choice Scarf, and Drain Crown with Eject Button. I am going to be using Crit Boost emblems, and the build I go between the Dragon build and the Ground build is purely based on what the enemy team comp is. So the Drain Crown is a personal choice preference that I use when that I just enjoy using more. If I could see what the enemy team was picking, I would probably use the scope lens more often. As you can see, their team is very kitey with the Pikachu and the Greninja, and Serena likes to jump around a lot, so I'm going to be going for the Dragon Claw build. I'm going to see if I can go bot side because I prefer bot side personally. There's no difference between top or bot, it's just personal preference. I'm going to be trying to get as many of these last hits as I can because I need XP more than Zera does, although if Zera gets ahead early, it will definitely do a lot as well. But the sooner I get to Garchomp, the better overall for the team. He's probably getting a little mad because somehow I have managed to achieve all of the last hits. Mimikyu goes in by himself and falls, and I pick up Dragon Rush. I cannot catch this Pikachu, and I'm not going to try, so I decide to back up and heal just a little bit. Their team is coming in pretty high with the amount of people. I can fight this Serena here because I have stacks previously, and she does not go for the berry there. She probably figured she'd die anyways. So I'm now going to go to the top side just to get some extra farm. That's about it really. I maybe should be able to go for a score if I really wanted to, but I'm on all the way on my side of the map instead of the enemies. And now that I have Dragon Claw, I can really start fighting the Pikachu and the Greninja, especially with the eject button, because there's a trick where you can do the Dragon Claw, Dragon Rush combo and eject button in a direction, and you'll turn to that direction. And we get the first Avalugg of the game. So, a lot of people might be wondering why I'm choosing quick games over normal games. Well, normal games don't really get a lot of players. It's either ranked or quick games. A lot of the time, oh, if that had scooped the Greninja, he would have died. I just barely missed. But a lot of normal games don't get a lot of players, so I'd be waiting in queue a long time, and even then I wouldn't know if it was a normal game or a bot game until I load into the game itself. And unfortunately, I go down there. The Greninja is positioning really well, and he seems to be on top of going after low health targets. He's probably he or she is probably paying attention to the map really well. So at this point, our team is pretty far, maybe not super far behind, but relatively far behind. I'm going to try to chase this Greninja, try to catch up to him, but I cannot reliably do so. This Pikachu has been hitting a lot of its Thunderbolts, which is pretty good. Right here, I'm going to be healing up with Drain Crown, which is another reason I really like Drain Crown, aside from the HP and attack and the fighting power I have. I overextend here really bad, and I'm going to die, which sucks, but Drain Crown is really good for just healing up off of random wild Pokemon to heal. Unfortunately, our Tyranitar does go down there, but it's not too big of a deal. It says we're struggling to keep up, which means we're only a little bit behind, which I can live with. We're not super struggling, so there's a comeback potential. I catch out Greninja with our Mimikyu, and he dies, and we get the second Avalugg of the game. There won't be any more spawning, so that means we should have the lead advantage. This Pikachu is being an obnoxious little rat, so I zone him off, and he keeps trying to poke me still, but he comes in a little bit too far, and I catch him out. I don't know what that little dimension on the ground that Mimikyu put down does, so I just kite out of it as best I can, trying to live. Right here I'm going to pop ult, because there's a lot of people. I kill Greninja, and Serena kills our Mimikyu, but that's okay. At this point, Pikachu ults, and I really need to get out of here or I'm gonna die. So I Dragon Rush out. I used my eject button offensively a little bit earlier, which is fine. I don't need to pick up any of these berries because I heal so much off my autos. As you can see, it only took 3 wild mons to pretty much fully heal up. So the enemy team, or the enemy Serena, was pushed really far ahead there for absolutely no reason whatsoever. And then I scoop up Mimikyu and the Greninja, although, again, this Greninja is doing really good at kiting, so I was not able to push my advantage. I'm going to grab these berries and try to keep the Greninja and the Mimikyu off. Unfortunately, this Mimikyu ults me, and I just die because I lose my stacks, and Greninja positions well to where he can attack me and not get caught. Mimikyu substitutes, which is, I'm not sure how I feel about that item. I've seen quite a few people run it, and to no success, because you just die immediately afterwards anyways. In League of Legends, it's a lot better of a thing, but teammates more reliably follow up on your Zonias. And we do win, actually by a considerable margin, and I get MVP. Even though I think Zera should have gotten MVP, that's still pretty good. That's still pretty good. I'll take it. It's probably because of all the Avalugg secures that I was there for. Hello and welcome to the second part of the video. At this point, I am going to ask that if you like what you see, please feel free to like and subscribe to to me personally. It would help out a lot, especially in these trying times. It feels a little weird asking for those things, but I probably need to get used to it, right? So this is going to be the exact same build that I ran last time. Again, some people like to wear or use Scope Lens instead of Drain Crown. I am completely okay with that as an option. I just like the sustain and the tankiness from Drain Crown personally. Now we're going to see what kind of build I am going to be running again. Oh, their comp is 3 melee and a Gengar who is also melee. Kinda sorta. So I'm going to be doing the ground build. The ground build is Earthquake and Dig. Dig is an invulnerable gap closer or dash that knocks up the first opponent you hit. And Earthquake sets down a tremor around you for, I think, 2 or 3 tremors, and each tremor that hits an opponent gives you a stack of your auto passive. So, and I believe it also gives you resistances, though do not quote me on that. I do not remember off the top of my head. So again, I'm going to be trying to get all these last hits, because when you get last hits, you get slightly more XP than your partner, excuse me. This Zora is being really weird. I don't know what they're trying to do. I'm going to try to take Electrode, but I cannot because they are 2v1. So what I'm going to do instead is go to their side and try to take some of their farm, because I imagine they're going to try to go turn in right after. I could have tried to dodge that tongue, but it's not a big deal. I also could have tried to fight their Ghastly there, but I felt like baiting him into the team instead, which it turns out was the right play, as he goes down and I acquire Dig. So I cannot fight. All the ice shard just barely clipped me and froze me. If I had held Dig for a second longer there, I probably could have been able to get the Mamoswine and not die. I would have died right after because of the Zacian being there, but it's fine. So I'm going to go back to farming, or at least a little bit, and then I'm going to help my Mew at least drag the Zacian away to relieve a little bit of pressure. Mew does get that last hit, but it's nothing too bad. It's still okay. We get all that. So Gabite evolves into Garchomp at level 9, and I'm level 7. I do pick up Earthquake, so now I can really start brawling with the enemy team. As you can see, Tyranitar or the Pupitar cannot fight me almost at all, and it's going to be like that for the rest of the game. The only time Tyranitar can fight Garchomp if you go Drain Crown is if Tyranitar has ult. I also just barely don't kill the Zacian. If I was Garchomp, I think I would have killed, but it's okay. The Avalugg middle objective boss has spawned, so we need to start looking to try to take that, especially since I believe we are behind, even if it's just ever so slightly. So I'm going to farm up to Garchomp right here. And I'm just going to go for a little bit of extra XP. I see Zacian trying to go for a score, but I also see that they are doing the mid objective, so I choose to go for that instead. I kill both Mamoswine and Gengar, which is really good, and then I just focus on taking down the objective. Zacian probably could have stolen it there if he really wanted to, but it's okay with me if he chooses not to contest. And I get a free turn in because of the bar right underneath my Eos Energy scorekeeper. Excuse me, I believe I have something stuck in my throat. This Gengar tries to fight me, which is a really, really bad idea, because after he blows his load, he has nothing to do, and I do not have a very squishy build on this Garchomp. So it'll be really hard for him to kill me in one combo, and then obviously my stacks will be up. I can't really fight them 1v2. Our Zora comes in and just kind of dies immediately, which is okay. The Zacian gets another turn in, but he doesn't score that much, so it should be okay. My Mew, my Mew is farming, which is a good idea considering that there's not a lot going on. And my Mewtwo is poking and poking at their Tyranitar and manages to kill Tyranitar and Gengar at the same time, which is pretty good. You know, I'll take it. This Zacian really understands that he cannot fight me when I have full stacks, so he decides to kite out, which is a good idea. He comes back in when I have Earthquake. Oh, excuse me for those hiccups. Goodness. And he gets caught out and killed by me and the Mew. Mew decides to go for a turn-in, which is a good idea, but I choose to farm a little bit more just to get a bigger turn-in when I do turn in. I almost have enough for a free turn-in, but I do not have it. Zacian tries to fight me again. Even if he hits me with his charged up ult like that, I still win the fights. It's really hard for Zacian to fight this build that I have on Garchomp, which is another thing that I like because Zacian is a pain in the butt. I kill the Gengar and I knock up the Tyranitar. My Earthquake's back up, so I pop that. Oh goodness. And he goes down as well. And then Zacian just decides to fight 1v3 on his plat. Oh my gosh, what is going on? And he goes down as well. We should have won that because we had a pretty commanding lead on their side. The only one who was really getting away with things was Zacian. Everyone else was just kind of dying. And we did indeed win the match, and I got MVP again. Mew scored a little bit more than me, but I had more kill participation and I fought a lot more than the Mewtwo did. Well, that's going to be it for this video. I thank you all for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, evening, or night, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.